back. The Africa Magic Viewers' Choice Awards held last night, the 11th edition, and it was quite a show. Great winners all around. Congratulations to all those who won. But the one thing that has become synonymous with the Africa Magic Viewers' Choice Awards is the fashion. In fact, some people even talk about it more than some of the winners on the day. We're going to be exploring that and all of the red carpet drama that happened yesterday. I'm joined here by Latasha Ongube, our resident, I feel like a Nigeria's resident, what's the word now, authority.
Well,
because I saw some of your Instagram stories yesterday. You were giving live updates. Take it.
And you looked amazing, by the way.
Thank you.
You actually looked very nice.
I wanted to start off with that because a lot of people have started associating the AMVCAs. I don't know what the theme. I don't know whether it's because the Met Gala happens just before it.
Listen.
But there's a belief that wearing a black tuxedo, for example, is
boring
for what would be a movie night of class, you know. So I mean, I saw some people say, "Hey, Buka, this is on our," like maybe they wanted a cape on top of the suit or whatever it was.
An eagle, perhaps, on the cape.
So what do you think of what it has become? Because there's also the counter argument that Nigerians are flamboyant, so you can't restrict us to a black tie sort of dress code. Where do we find the balance then? Because you can't restrict us, to be fair.
Well, I hear everything, and there are valid arguments in each pocket. But I will say, first of all, shout out to everybody. Shout out to the AMVCA for putting together a stellar event for the last 11 years. I mean, this is...
Because it's tough.
It is very tough.
In Nigeria, it's even tougher.
It is very expensive. It's very time-consuming and very stressful. This is arguably the biggest award ceremony on the continent, period.
Everybody looks forward to it. From like January.
Absolutely. You can't imagine how stressful it is for me as a fashion lover because the Met Gala is typically every first Monday in May. I'm born in May and my birthday is on the 8th. So this week there was the Met Gala, there was my birthday, there was AMVCA back to back to back, and I'm like, a lot is happening right now. Speaking to what you said about the simplicity, in quotes, of outfits, I can see how people will say Nigerians are flamboyant, this and that, but the truth of the matter is that there is always a place for classic dressing. There is a place for sophistication. Fortunately or unfortunately, we have a culture where seamstresses, tailors, designers are part and parcel of, you know, the fabric of our society and, you know, the way we dress and everything. And because we're very celebratory people, there's always something to wear. There's always somewhere to go, a dress in wedding, naming ceremony, death, this or that. So we have already blurred the lines when it comes to Asoebi, and you are part of the problem. From Banky W's wedding, you have been part of the problem.
That was a wedding.
Oh, it was a wedding. Now look at it. You have given birth.
They have taken it.
You have 1 decade later.
Let's get Let's get into it. But that's what I also tell people. The events and time matter. Yes. You know. But let's get into it now. Last night, who stood out for you?
So for a number of reasons, of course, first place in terms of standing out.
Okay, let's start with the worst. Or the people who stood out for you in that way.
Let me say stand out. Because this is not the best, this is not the worst, just stand out.
There's
Nana Kwado, for me, stands out.
We have...
But this is worst dressed list, I think. And the first person on the worst dressed list for me would be Erica Nlewedim.
She had two outfits. I think this was the first one. What did you like about this?
Lerinari, I forget the name. I'm sorry for butchering. It's an international designer. I mean, it just looks like prom gone so wrong. I did not like this outfit. The dress did nothing for her. The gloves, the headpiece. I saw on the red carpet that when she was asked who styled her, she said she styled herself. It's evident. This was a time where she badly needed a stylist, and this was not well thought out.
But her second outfit was...
Her second outfit was a much better recovery. I don't know whether it was a last-minute hookup with the designer. It was Wisdom Franklin, by the way. It was miles better than this, but this was not Wisdom at Wisdom Franklin best for me.
Okay.
I think it would have needed more cohesion. I don't think it was custom made for her. I think it was just like a last-minute pull, whatever. But that was not a good look for her. No.
What about for the guys? Who didn't impress you?
Sorry. The second person that was worst dressed was Papaya X. She came as a banana. I don't know what's going on there. It's a very fruity affair. There was bananas on the bust area. She was peeled out of it. She was holding a banana. It was bananas. It was bizarre. Very much so. The designer for this, I believe, was extra queen.
But you could tell
designs.
she was going for shock factor.
I mean,
because she did a video where she was trying to
she
eat the
was
banana, and
mimicking
it was,
I mean, again, this is supposed to be a very classy event. The problem here is that there's too many people going for shock factor at an event that requires a lot of like poise, grandiosity, elegance, and an evening of celebration. And I fear that people are really beginning to, because I got a lot of people in my comments saying, oh, this is Met Gala worthy. Darlings, the Met Gala is a costume event.
And celebrities don't wear what they wear to the Met Gala, to the Oscars.
No, they do not. They certainly do not. Neither do they wear what they wear to the Grammys, to the Oscars. Either. There's a time and place, and you can see it in the red carpet. But let's move on to the guys for the worst dressed. I think.
Which of the guys gave you the shock?
I mean, we have Dame Desmond, Desmond Elliott.
I saw him on the red carpet.
How did he look on the red carpet?
So he called my name, and I turned, and I saw this because there were cameramen around, and then I looked. I was like, interesting. Oh. I mean, I would never have expected it from him. I think he even had a hat as well. I mean, he's not just an entertainer, he's a politician. For him to want to pull this off was quite interesting to me.
Would you wear that?
No.
Okay. It was terrible. I thought it was terribly executed.
And he's a Nollywood legend.
He's a veteran by every... I love Desmond Elliott. He's actually a very good friend of mine. I wrote about the look. I was like, I could not understand what was going on. I don't know what that was about. But even if that's the direction you want to go, because I have seen men who can make this fashion. There are people who can pull it off. You actually could pull it off. It just needs to be well executed. The shape of the skirt was terrible. There were lumps in the back. It looked like there was a corset. I'm confused. I'm not sure what's happening. Even when he posted, the way he posted it was like, I don't think he was convinced. So he didn't convince us. For sure.
And I know I think he hasn't been to the AMVCAs for a while. So it was like a comeback. You people must see me.
Now he
and I guess he got it. Let's look at some of the best dresses that stood out for you. Females.
I believe that I had a second worst dressed.
Okay, you had it. Who was that?
White Money, Otamieme.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was bad. In fact, when I wrote about it, he actually DM'd me and said, God, I beg you. And we had a good laugh. Because I don't know him personally. And we had banter. Then he told me he ate.
Yes, that's it.
I said, honey, you ate meat pies and sausage rolls.
And I think he made his outfit himself. He did, or he designed it. He told me he designed it.
He said it was Igbo Scotsman. I'm like, I still don't get the reference. I don't know. Ebuka, by the way, was there a theme?
So, not that I know of. I don't know that there was a theme.
Why are people saying the theme was technology?
Oh no, I didn't get that.
I don't get it.
Let's go to the best dressed women, like we said. First, I think it was Anita.
Anita. Oh, Anita Uka. Anita Uka looked lovely. She was wearing First Lady. Look at that outfit. This is clean.
Yes.
This is elegant. Look at her hair, the updo, the minimalism. But then there's still a little bit of drama. The colors.
Just the right amount of drama.
Just right. Perfect. She's not necessarily an active actress. She's a reality star. But this says, I know my place. I'm here to have a good time. I'm here to celebrate others. This was so award worthy. Loved it.
All right, let's see who's next. She looked really good. I actually saw her as well.
She looked good on the carpet as well.
And she's really tall.
She is very.
And she flowed very well.
I mean, you know what? You know the stuff.
This is Doing.
So Doing, this had this Mother Earth thing going on. I believe the name of this designer is Mamadi Couture. I don't know if it's a Nigerian designer. Props for creativity. I mean, it really looked like roots were growing out of the dress. It looked like there was foliage going on. It was very creative. I liked her hair. It worked in its own way. I didn't see any visuals of her on the carpet to see how it really translated.
Yes, okay.
But from the image, it was not bad at all.
Do we have anyone next?
I think Osasi Godaro.
Okay, Osas
looks good.
owns the AMVCA at this point.
You know
she
what?
And Nana,
You know what? Osas in Vicky James.
This was stunning.
Very stunning. And she looked just as good in real life.
Yeah, it was stunning.
So this is the thing. There was a lot of what we saw versus what we were seeing in real life.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of, discrepancies there. But this was nice.
Yeah.
I believe that the green bits of her dress were made from a towel. A dish towel.
Oh, interesting.
So quite creative.
She's collaborated with Vicky James for about 3 or 4 editions now.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
so
and she's always been on the best dress list.
Yeah,
so
this was nice.
I guess they should stick together.
This was nice. Still a tad
dramatic.
But she's an actress.
She's won the award twice, I believe,
I
Best
think,
Actress.
yeah,
So, I mean,
yeah.
I guess you can get away with
exactly
with doing it. Who's next?
We have I think it would be the best dressed men.
Okay.
For me, there's a few of them actually. I think I even had more people on the women's best dresses, but for the guys, Micah Folarin for me.
Okay.
Micah Folarin. Okay, yes, we had
Jemima in person.
Jemima was lovely.
She looked like she was flowing.
Molded.
Oh no, when I saw her,
it was beautiful. Very, very nice. I loved her
like a
hair.
movie star.
She looked like a star.
Yeah.
Like a movie star. Look at her hair, the jewelry, the composure. I was not too in love with the train, I must be honest, because of the texture. I think the chiffon gathers. I don't love that technique so much, but you know what? For this, I will let it pass. She looked amazing to me. Very nice. Of course, Tony Tone.
Both looks were crazy.
Listen. I think one look was by Adeshokpe. I'm sorry. I've been up all night, so my mind is fuzzy, but she looked beautiful. I didn't understand why she had to wear 2 dresses though, because you're not nominated, you're not presenting. Did she present?
I don't think I remember.
Yes, she didn't present. She's not hosting the carpet. I don't understand the idea of 2 looks. I think it's just too much.
The AMVCAs.
No. See, this is the problem. This is where we're going into that territory again. One dress would have been sufficient for me, but she killed both.
Okay.
And I'm happy with that. She looked very, very nice.
Can we see the guys quickly?
Yeah.
You said Micah Folarin.
Micah Folarin. Mike was wearing, I don't want to say it was Deji Ankola if it wasn't Deji Ankola, but he looked...
Was it T.I. Nathan?
No, I don't think it was. Look at him.
But the right amount of accessories.
The right amount, I call it trinkets. The right amount of trinkets for him.
Yeah.
You know, someone said to me, it's not quite an award-worthy, like a movie award-worthy outfit. And I can understand that, but it's age appropriate for him. He's in his 20s.
I was going to say that as well.
The cornrows and everything. I can very much see one of the Jonas brothers wearing this. One of the younger Timothy Chalamet. I can definitely see them in this zone. I love Micah Folarin so much. He's so cool, so stylish, so chilled, very Ashake. There's a lot of Ashake going on in his looks. Very nice. Efaiwara in Atafo.
Stunning.
Kiss, chef's kiss. I was like, Effa, yo.
You're discovering him.
This is a discovery. Do you understand? I'm like, okay.
Yes.
This is lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looked good.
And I'm all for people who wear a nice tuxedo to the awards. I've always been an advocate for that. Like in the past, I would probably have criticized Micah Folarin for not wearing a shirt and a bow tie. I would have never worn a long tie to AMVCAs before. But I've also seen that, people are doing things. You can be a little edgy. Without going completely off.
Absolutely.
Which is why I really liked what Micah Folarin won. So I see your point. But Effa, it was not a regular tuxedo.
No, it
was
cropped. Yes, it was more like a Matador jacket style. Bucci Franklin for me also. I mean, all the women in my DMs are swooning. Married and single.
I thought he looked amazing, but I didn't think he looked appropriate.
I hear you.
But I thought he looked amazing. He's my guy.
But you know what?
When I saw the whole chest, I said,
you know what? I will chalk him up because Bucci Franklin, even as an actor, is not regular.
Yeah.
He's not someone you see all the time. So I'll give him that rogue face like a Robert Downey Jr. or like a Johnny Depp. You always have the outliers in the industry that just don't do regular. But this was not crazy looking. Neither was it like extra. Yeah. It was just personality. And I'm also for some bit of personality on the carpet.
I was a little conflicted with wearing a slim tie and what looked like a pinstripe suit. Why did you think it worked? Because you said you liked it. For me.
For you?
Yeah.
So the first thing I noticed, I was like, what is this print on this outfit? I was like, it's Ebuka times Atafo. Please, what is going on there?
Collaboration.
Is this going to be, people are going to be wearing, they're going to sell
Coming
that?
soon.
Ebuka, wow. Look at you, fashion entrepreneur. About time.
Yeah.
So what I liked about your look was, first of all, it was completely different. My comment on it was, point of view is when your designer says, I'm making you your own suit. Yeah. You had your suit, your shirt, your tie, your name. I thought that gave me so much presence. Like, I am here, I am Ebuka. It actually spoke to your personality.
Yeah.
I'm like, if a designer was going to collaborate with a personality, this is what it should look like. I like the fact that you also went with a tie because you're very much a classic guy. So I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the look and you've trimmed a bit. So I didn't want you in a white tie either. I needed that tie to stay skinny.
Yeah.
You know, of course, I love my look.
Yeah, you wore velvet.
I wore velvet. It was black velvet.
Velvet is very risky.
Velvet can be very risky, but my designer first lady, she murdered it. She did.
Even if you say so yourself.
No. I don't need to say so myself. It is evident, and I want it to be. It was like a lesson.
Yes.
In how to style for the carpet, but I know we're out of time. It was always a pleasure.
You're always amazing. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Looking forward to the next AMVCAs or the next awards coming. And,
I know.
Thanks to all the attendees who did their best. I think this year was actually a little better than the past with how crazy people went, but we don't have time. And of course, thank you for joining us. Like I always say, you can follow the conversation on social media. Please use the hashtag Rubbin'minds when you send us a message. I'll see you next Sunday. You want to fight me? Okay.